clearly changed. So one lacuna that's as an emergency responders is that if the government has assured the good people of Lagos State, the lacuna is that the people should abide with the rules and regulations.
Okay.
And lastly, they should not panic. We manage the golden hour. We put early warning in there. We have effective and efficient communications in terms of emergency preparedness, in terms of emergency response, in terms of emergency reconstruction and rehabilitations. So our people should not be anxious. They shouldn't be anxiety.
And in terms of that emergency, the sort of emergency numbers remain 112 and I believe 167.
Yes, and the good thing about this emergency that we are talking about is that we build it to another level in Lagos State. We now have a command control center agency under the watch of Mr. Governor,
himself.
Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu. So you can see that all the clear circle of disaster management have been well taken care of in Lagos State.
When you say command center, I wonder, can one liken it to traffic center as such,
No.
where it's possible to see what's going on in various hotspots?
Everywhere. And that's why we call it command control center. Command control center is another way of monitoring, is another way of collecting data, is another way of trying to ensure that we try as much as possible to manage emergency and disaster effectively. You can call in, we've digitalized it. We moved from analog, we started with analog, 1, 2, 3. Then we moved to digital, we digitalized it to 767 and 112. Now we have improved on it and we have taken it to another level. We've moved it to an agency level that has its own person in there. So all this is to ensure effectiveness, preparedness, response, and to ensure that the good people of Lagos State enjoy the dividends of democracy. And what he has promised them is safety of life and properties.
Earlier in the week,
Yeah.
there was, from what you've explained now, I imagine that all those things were working. There are many areas in Lagos that didn't experience a flood, but in particular, Lekki, for instance, there were these dramatic pictures of floods and cars up to halfway of their height. Is it that, thank God for those devices and equipment that you were talking about, that's why that was even like that? Since I said many areas didn't actually experience flood, but what did cause the flood of that apparent magnitude in Lekki?
Well, we discovered that it's more of man-made. We've given a lot of early warning. The Ministry of Environment has worked in there. But however, you can see some people are not abiding with the rules and the regulations. And what we inform them is that when there is flood or when there is heavy rain, is a massive pour. Stay in your household. Stay in your house. Don't go anywhere. Ensure that the drainage in your place are well kept.
Yes.
Don't dump plastic waste material in that place.
You mean they did do those kind of things in Lekki?
You can see.
Lekki is supposed to be Lekki.
If you look at the pictures itself, you can see a lot of bottles, a lot of plastics, a lot of waste materials on that. You can see it. It's clear. And you can see that some estates that we have put on paper that they did not have appropriate approvals. And you can see what the Ministry of Environment are doing under the watch of Mr. Governor. You can see their honorable commissioners, their PAMSECs, their directors outside. They are not within the office.
No.
They are outside ensuring that Lagos State is safe. So our people need to abide with these rules. Our people need to ensure they key into the vision and mission of Mr. Governor. And you can see that in Lagos State, we've turned a lot of things around. All these ways that we are talking about now, we are turning it to wealth. The normal has partnering with a lot of companies to ensure that...
Loma being the waste management
yes,
agency, just in case, because people are also watching us from diaspora.
They are now turning the waste that we are disposing into wealth. So there's a lot of chance, there's a lot of avenue, there's a lot of things going on. And Mr. Governor has approved another billions of nairas for emergency responders like LASEMA to purchase sophisticated equipment.
Yeah, I was going to come to that because you've always been very proud of LASEMA and the equipment that Mr. Governor has made, possible for you to do your work. And
we are even getting another new one.
I was reading that. Reading that.
Billions of naira.
I was going to ask you, what kind of, because we thought really you had reached the ultimate. So what kind of...
No, we've not. We have just started.
What kind
under the watch of Mr. Governor, we have just started. It's the beginning. And you can discover that you can now see succession plan put in place in terms of emergency management in Lagos State.
Okay.
We've built capacity.
That is of the professionals within the agency.
Yes, in terms of professionals within the agency, we now have people that are capable. In Lagos State today, we are partnering with the UNDP to ensure that we build insurance
the United
system.
Nations Development Program?
Yes, in terms of we build insurance system for victims of flood in Lagos State.
Build, that is without them.
We want to insure them.
So, God forbid, if anything should happen,
yes, they will be well taken care of.
There will be succor for
yes. Them. So that's another way of handling emergency. We are now moving to another level in terms of ensuring insurance of properties, in ensuring insurance for the victims. And before you could do that, you can see what this government have put in place, which means we've carried out risk analysis, we've carried out vulnerability analysis, we've done resource mapping, we are building capacity to ensure that our people are safe. And you can see, if you compare us with other states that are in our situation, you can see that this government have done so much, enormously, in terms of disaster management, in terms of disaster preparedness. And the good thing that I keep on telling people is that Mr. Governor himself has taken clear ownership and provided the political will on how to manage disaster in Lagos State.
Which areas would you say, just going by is it the topography, the geology, the geography of the area, whatever you want to call it, are most vulnerable?
Well, if you look at it, you look at Etiosa, you look at Ibejuleki, you look at some area in Ikodu. But the good thing about all this is that...
And that's because they are close to
the coastal area.
Atlantic Ocean goes by them.
You can say that in Lagos State, we identify our challenges. We keep on turning that challenges to a positive level because of our mindset. About, I think, 2 weeks ago, you can see the Waterfront Ministry coming up with a lot of analysis of the dangers we are facing. And Mr. Governor was there when they were making the presentation. He was there throughout. He was able to see the risk that the Lagos states are prone to. And immediately, he has put a lot of machinery in place to say Lagos will be safe.
You know, you regaled us of part of the equipment that the governor had provided. We're talking about something like maybe, I think, at least 18 months, 2 years ago, in relation to traffic, disasters. The kind of equipment, heavy-duty equipment, and all of that. Now, surely the equipment this time is going to be different, the additional equipment.
Yeah, it's going to be different. But you see, we are moving from now prioritizing what risk we're exposed to. We are moving out, building the resilience from the community level to the state's level. We are moving from working in a silhouette. We are moving together. You can now say that all emergency responders are moving together.
In a sort of a much more coordinated way.
Much more coordinated way. Much more ways that we don't dissipate energy anyhow. We are moving in what we call incident command control structure. And the beauty of it is that we realize the primary effects, the secondary effect itself has been well taken care of.
When you look at the situation flooding in Lagos and other states, because I do know that a handful of states, let me put it like that, actually have come to LASEMA with the idea to learn from the modalities that LASEMA uses in order to set up their own management response, their own emergency response agency. So we do know that that is going on. How is that still the case?
It's still the case. In fact, by October 2nd to October 1st, we are going to be hosting all SEMA conference. For the first time, we are going to do inaugural SEMA conference of Nigeria, where all SEMAs, chief executive officers, stakeholders that are important in managing emergency all over Nigeria will come over in such a way we will build the resilience. And we are partnering with National Emergency Management Agency. All of us are going to be in Lagos by October 2nd to October 4th, where we'll be sharing information, sharing advice, and see what Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu has put in place.
Okay, you know. Well, Oluwatobi is on the line. Good morning. Oh, I think we also lost Oluwatobi. But just to tell you that as we are doing this program, this program will continue, but we might also be going to an there you go, it's actually there. So you can scan the barcode there, whereupon you will remain here. You'll see a barcode at home. Just scan it with your phone, and you'll continue with us here. Oh, thank you. We continue with Dr. Oke Osoyintolu in our Lagos studio, reaffirming the readiness of Lagos State for flood emergency response. So, as I was saying, you were just assuring us, and sorry about that call that we missed, but keep those calls coming in. What I wanted to know, and I think you had told me, some of those areas that are more prone, that are more prone to flood. Yes. We had the picture earlier of a flooded out street. So I was going to, if I can get that picture again, I was going to use it to, you see that picture there. Yeah. So what can we're just going to, Kosi, we just have to wait till it
drains off.
It drains off.
Yeah.
So if it hadn't been for those blockages you are complaining about, for careless residents doing anyhow, doing what they want, it would have drained off faster.
Yes, it could have drained off faster. But despite the fact, whenever we notice this, we have some gangsters that are employed by Ministry of Environment. If you call us on 112 7767, we will inform them. They will go there and ensure that they through the canals.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Elder IK, good morning to you, sir. Can you hear me, Elder IK? Can you hear me, Elder IK? You called in. Okay, it's going to be one of it's going to be one of those kind of days. But do please keep it coming, and also do bear with us. We're talking about the weather, and somehow our telephony is affected by the weather. But you know, Dr. Femi Oke Osoyintolu, Permanent Secretary LASEMA, is here with us, and is giving us an update, as it were, on the preparedness of Lagos, and especially LASEMA and all its partner agencies. Everybody, all hands are on deck. But in spite of that, that picture that Dr. Osoyintolu was commenting on, those kind of pictures still happen, and he was saying that that's a practical example of what I was telling you. It's the human aspect.
Yes.
The human aspect.
Man-made aspect.
Man-made.
Yes, it's what called man-made aspect of disaster management, which could be avoided, really. But despite the fact that it was man-made, we have people that can tackle the situation as quickly as possible.
It's unfortunate that, because for as long as we've been talking about these kind of situations on this station and other stations that you've been to, you've been talking about the man-made one. One would have expected that government would come in and look, insist, because Lagos State government does insist. I was watching where it was at the trade fair complex.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, from the story I was hearing, consuming, I was hearing that there's a trade fair complex. There's also a trade fair compound.
Yes.
It was explained there that we have been telling these people for all this time that you can't do what you are doing. And finally, Lagos State reacted by coming in and now actually, unfortunately, applying the ultimate sanction.
Definitely.
Which is bring down those things.
We are not shy away to enforce. But, our government is a democratic government. We must have human face, human feelings, apathy about what we are doing.
Yes.
And that's why we always move slowly, dodgy,
hoping that people
carry people along,
Mm.
to ensure that we carried out a lot of extensive advocacy, extensive sensitization, intensive demonstrations of what could happen. But however, when we feel that we've done enough, and we say clearly, enough is enough, and we don't want to lose life, and then we move in swiftly, promptly, effectively, and efficiently,
and do the needful.
And we have a commission, safety commission, that audits our activities. Mm. So we too will not be overzealous about what we are doing. Okay. And let
me bring on this viewer. Sorry, a viewer is on. Good morning, Mr. George. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, Buhari.
Good morning, sir. Yes, we can hear you. Thank you very much.
Good morning to the guest.
Dr. Osanyitolu.
I admire this, guest each time he comes, and the way he does his work with passion.
Yes.
The first thing about them that always impressed.
Indeed. His passion always shows.
The Commissioner of the Environment, the MD of Lamaka, and then the Commissioner for Agriculture. You see the way they do their work with passion, and you won't be surprised why Lagos is always getting good results.
Wait, Femi, you see, that's a kudos to you.
We thank God. But he's Mr. Governor, because he has taken ownership of everything. Okay. And he has provided the political will, and he has built the capacity.
Okay.
But I have a question for him. He talked about service of emergency equipment. This equipment, does it include equipment to be used when incidents occur on the train system? Lagos is developing the train system now very fast. Does it include what equipment that could be used in the emergency and on the train lines?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
I can't hear you.
I had a difficulty, but since you were talking about additional equipment that the governor has provided for the use of LASEMA and related agencies, he was wondering if, considering that Lagos seems to be moving at a very nifty pace with its trains, he wonders if some of the heavy-duty equipment there, does the new equipment you were talking about include those? Can they serve dual purposes? Are they useful in this kind of a situation that we are talking about now?
Definitely, because we have been empirical. We can't just bought any equipment that is not useful, that we want to keep. We realize that we need...
whether it was specialists that he can't do anything else but work with the trains. He was wondering if we're also able to get a double use out of it, in addition to the trains, when this seasonal situation has occurred.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. Okay. It's a dual purpose equipment.
There are heavy-duty equipment.
Yes.
And what is that for? Is it to clear drains? What exactly?
You see, when you are looking at about that equipment, now, to first of all evacuate the victims.
Okay.
Because if you have some disabled people inside the house, and we have a lot of heavy waters in there, we move in with such equipment to rescue them. They can be rescued. Yes.
If need be.
If need be, we need equipment to ensure that the canalization are smooth, are not blocked. We need equipment to ensure that our team himself can go to the vulnerable houses.
Okay, so I guess the answer to Mr. George's question is yes, they actually are, able to get use out of equipment that was not necessarily purpose, acquired for this.
Yes.
But it's all heavy duty.
It's all round.
So what the implication of what you're saying is that Lagos has invested massively on the heavy duty scale.
If there's another English that is better than massively, you would say that Lagos State has invested so much in building resilience. The Lagos State. Now, you see, the important thing now that we are going to, we will go to the another level, because you see, you cannot replace human being with technology. You can see that in Lagos State, they are building the two together, technology and human capacity. And by October 4, in partnership with IOM, we will be having another institute.
What is IOM?
IOM is the International Migration Office.
Okay.
They deal with the...
This is still a UNO...
It's a UNO something.
It's a United Nations
agency.
Yes, the
United Nations agency. Okay. And we are building what we call Institute of Disaster Management, where all the first responders, they are going to be trained, they are going to improve their capacity, they are going to ensure that these people use this technology very well.
Okay, so we're talking about the preparedness, the state of preparedness of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, and Tony in Jos has just called in. Good morning, Tony.
Hello.
Hello, Tony. Good morning. Go ahead, please.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, Uncle Yori. How are you?
Good morning, sir. I'm very good, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead now.
I'm first of
Dr. Osoyintolu.
I think
Dr. Osoyintolu.
That's another program for Akwa Ibom. But notwithstanding, I'm not seeing you. But I think from our communication, I can hear your voice.
Were you in Akwa Ibom recently?
Yes.
Oh,
okay. We'll be moving from one state to another to build that.
Guy, you should keep it up.
Okay.
Because every other looks for to manage risk of that nature.
Okay.
But my advice to Lagos State government, because what we saw from the recent fire incident in what do you call this area now, that's a busy area of working, how will I call it, private companies,
Okay.
So that fire incident is very, very, I think it's on the very high side of the thing.
Okay.
So
okay.
my advice is that the government should try to employ firefighter.
Okay.
Like what we used to see in America or London or so.
Okay.
At least if it's one or two, they are able to chase such events. Fire incident. I think that kind of nature of fire will not be so much.
Thank you very much. I think you brought that up because the name LASEMA is Lagos State Emergency Management Agency. So
yes.
Even though we're talking about floods now, that is your interest. So, well, Dr. Osoyintolu can take care of it.
If you look at the incidents clearly, you will discover that, and we've done the post-mortem of it.
Okay.
The Safety Commission, who is a sort of organization to audit the effectiveness of our first responders, they've done auditing of what we've done in that place. And believe me, they gave us kudos. The point is that our response was swift, prompt, effective, and efficient. And you will discover that the mortality that was associated with that incident, it was not due to the fact that we did not respond very well. It was due to the secondary effect. And that secondary effect is what we call acute respiratory syndrome. Now, what causes acute respiratory syndrome is that our people inhaled smoke. Now, why do they inhale smoke during the fire incident? Why do we have that kind of mortality? It's due to clearly anxiety and panicking. In emergency, we have assured the good people of Lagos State that under the watch of Mr. Governor, all the process of emergency management have been put in place. So what, they should not panic. If there's an emergency in Lagos State, use 123, call 767 or call 112. We will be there. Look at what happened. Those people started jumping from high rising. Those people do not lie down. You know, there are certain safety codes. You see, there are back doors that they can take. There are back doors, fire back doors for emergency that they can take. But they did not do that. They were panicking.
Because they didn't know.
Not that they did not know, really. Is there, is in the building. The point is this: when you panic during the emergency, we call it anxiety neurosis in medicine. When you panic, adrenaline pour in, not adrenaline pour in. You have the tendency, your biceps coming. You have the tendency to want to jump.
And you're not necessarily thinking logically.
You are not thinking logically. You will move to what we call the ID level, which is a very primitive level. And that primitive level will say, escape. Escape. You get what I mean? Instead of you to say that, how will I?
An instinctive flight.
It's an instinctive flight. Instead of you now saying that, how will I escape? That question is not, they did not answer. And the answer to that question is there. If there is smoke, lie down.
So we need to keep on educating
our
people
on our own side. We realize that because they've done the other thing. We will carry out massive sensitization and advocacy. But on the good people of Lagos State, they need to abide with the rules and regulations, and they need to have confidence in us. We can assure them, as the first responder, that we are passionate in managing the golden hour. We work 24 hours, and we will be right there if you call us on our emergency number.
Waiting to join the conversation now is another viewer, Dr. Durosimi, retired AIG, Dr. Durosimi, calling from Lekki. Good morning, Dr. Durosimi. Dr. Durosimi, good morning.
Hello?
Yes, we're waiting for you. Please go ahead now. Good morning.
Yes, greetings to your guests at the studio.
Dr. Osanyitolu.
He's doing a great job. But flood and flooding system in Lagos goes beyond the capacity of the state government. The government is trying, working around the clock, putting the money there. I think there is need to seek for federal government assistance because this problem is heavy. And I'm not predicting bad. It's going to continue because it's a worldwide issue. It's an international issue. The sea is rising, and we have the sea here.
Dr. Durosimi, Dr. Durosimi,
kilometers. Yeah, but let's
Dr. Durosimi, you are in Lekki. What happened in your area of Lekki?
All the water drain, there should be a standby contractor that will be working on the one in Ajegule, the one in Surulere, the one in Ikorodu.
So this thing has become a one-way conversation.
But most importantly, government needs to finish VGC road. That road that moving from VGC down to Freedom Way is very, very important as an alternative. We can.
Dr. Durosimi, you can't hear me. You cannot hear me, Dr. Durosimi. You cannot hear me. Can you hear me, Dr. Durosimi?
I can hear you very well.
If it's so, I had asked, we always announce Dr. Durosimi calling in from Lekki. So how was your area of Lekki during the flood that has now become the Lekki flood of the past week? Hello?
Hello, I can hear you.
I've just finished answering a question. I said, how was your area of Lekki in relation to the flooding?
It was terrible. My daughter did not come back from office until about 1 a.m. I had to go and carry her on the way. 1 a.m. of the next day. I had to go and carry her on the way. But I think if we can finish this CGC road that goes to Freedom Way, we'll have helped. But I think we need federal assistance.
Okay, that's the point. That's the important point that you're reiterating. Thank you very much for calling in. I'm going to come back. I got to quickly take a break now. I'll come back and you'll react to that. And this whole question about, look, it's beyond Lagos. You now need federal assistance. We'll look at that when we come back. Do please stay with us. We'll be right back.
On 1st October, as Nigeria marks 65 years of independence, we pause to ask a profound question. Who is a Nigerian? At 65, the question of our identity and nationhood has never been more urgent. What does it mean to truly be Nigerian?
We all have a responsibility to protect this democracy because it is the only system that guarantees our freedom.
What do we owe this nation, and what does this nation owe us?
If the citizens are not standing to hold the government accountable, if we are not raising the question that we need to raise about the kind of middle class and the kind of political class that we have today, it is very difficult for us.
Speaking as panelists are Lanre Issa Unilu, Director General, National Orientation Agency; Kadaria Ahmed, Media Entrepreneur, CEO, Daria Media; GT Ogunye, a constitutional lawyer and social commentator; and Kenneth Okenwa, a lecturer at the University of Lagos. The panel will be moderated by Nifemi Oguntoye. Join TVC News Town Square on this conversation for every Nigerian, a dialogue that could shape our future. Wednesday, October 1 at 6 p.m.
Okay, thank you indeed for staying with us. Our guest is Dr. Femi Okeosoyintolu, Permanent Secretary of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency. And the last caller, before we went on break, he opined that it's beyond Lagos State, that Lagos State should call on the federal authorities for assistance. What would be your comment on that?
We have called on them. Everybody, all hands must be on deck. In Lagos State, we believe in effective and efficient collaborations, and we are working with them. We are working with all the key stakeholders that are important in managing disaster in Lagos State. And that's right, by 2nd, 4th, NEMA is going to be with us.
The
National Emergency, yes, all of them are coming to Lagos.
To this event that
the All SEMA, first inaugural All SEMA conference that the governor of Lagos State is hosting all the SEMA chief executive officers. So they are going to be with us. So believe me.
So the point he was making is already taken care of.
Definitely. We will do everything that is humanly possible.
Sit down and be wringing our hands.
No. We don't do that. We don't do that.
We don't
do that in Lagos State. We will continue to work and do our business. And definitely we will collaborate with anybody, even private organization. We do collaborate with them to ensure safety of good people of Lagos State.
But in relation to that point, what has been the response of the federal authorities?
It was positive. Positive.
Because I don't know, those who have observed it, it's usually your people and your equipment that is seen at the venue. What's that about? Is it that there's no necessity to duplicate things?
Well, sometimes there's no necessity to duplicate things when we have already had the equipment.
Yeah.
You know, the Lagos State has invested so much in building resilience. That's anywhere in the world, they give us kudos of what Mr. Governor has invested. And he's not staying on one point. He's still improving on what to do.
Okay. So I hope AIG retired Dr. Drosimi heard that. His suggestion is well noted, indeed has been taken care of, and that the federal authorities' response has been in the positive more than anything else. That's what he's saying, and he's the working, pro on the matter. He's also a medical doctor as well. So that's why he was talking about there are areas of health, medical aspects of it. You were talking about inhalation of smoke.
Yes, I was talking about the inhalation of smoke that lead to acute respiratory syndrome. And that's why if you see the bodies of those people that are dead, they were not born. It was due clearly
it's like,
that
almost like they were poisoned.
Yes,
by
it's
that
like it's a poison to surfactant. There's a surfactant strew along the lungs, and when they inhale all this, they are what we call chemical reactions that leads to acute respiratory distress syndrome, and that is what led to the mortality.
I knew there was one word missing in there: acute respiratory distress.
Syndrome. They call it acute respiratory distress syndrome because it's going to be a chain of events that will occur in the body when such things happen, and that is why we are being emphatic that clearly we've trained people from the community to the state level. We've put a lot of things, machinery in place. People should not panic. Anxiety should not be a thing of operation in Lagos State.
Well, one can't stress that enough. One can't overstate that as a matter of fact, because the natural response, perhaps, of human beings is to fire, and then begin to run away. But you are saying that's the exact opposite.
That's the exact opposite. We've gone beyond that. Okay. If you look at the mortalities that occur during the bomb blast in 2002, you will discover that mortalities that occur is due to the primitive actions. That is what led to the establishment of LASEMA. And we've gone beyond that.
You're calling it primitive action? Isn't it instinctual?
Well, it is instinctual. When you say instinctual.
When you don't know enough.
Yes, not only that, when you say instinctual, I agree with you. But you look at the way human beings operate. The human beings operate in three levels: the ED, the ego, and the superego level. When you remove the ego and the superego level, it comes to the ED level, and that ED level is the primitive, and that's why you will say, oh, you will jump without even thinking, and that's what led to mortalities in that fire incident.
The one in
if you see the in the ABU and the UBA incident, you will see the pictures clearly. People are jumping when emergency responders, when we have the equipment, when there are stairs that they could take, when the emergency people are on the ground, listen to the tout people that are not trained.
And it's not as if they could see any particular, this thing.
There is no fire.
A basket or something like that. So let me just jump.
They just put a blanket and they are jumping. When you have all your emergency responders on the ground.
You can imagine the velocity of human body
we have to carry out what we call advocacy and sensitization something. We have to carry out a lot of drillings to them what is going on. They can direct you. They will say to them what is going on. They can direct you. They will ask you questions. Then they will tell you what you need. In that place. We have it. So, you get what I'm saying? In that place. We have it. So, you get what I'm trying to say? So when able to go clearly to do holistic diagnosis, and when you do able to go clearly to do holistic diagnosis, and when you do holistic diagnosis, you'll be able to get results. And we'll be able, you say the most important thing, which is the thin line in the results of any form of emergency or disaster, is the state of mind. And one way or the other, Mr. Governor has put machinery in place in Lagos State to ensure that people have positive state of mind. So I appeal to good people of Lagos State to always remain cool, calm, and collected. And that is why when there's any form of emergency, we even tell the good people of Lagos State, this is what is going on, and this is what we are going to be doing, instead of them to be looking at the Facebook, looking at the social media, looking about this,
and taking from there.
Due advantage. We have a system, lines of communications in emergency. And when people started talking here, there, and there, you can say the state came out and informed them, this is what happened, this is what happened, this is what we have done. And we are not shy in taking responsibilities, if need be.
Those areas that you said are naturally more prone to floodings.
Yes.
I think you mentioned Ibeju side.
Ibeju, Ikosetio side,
that's a matter of geography. There's nothing we can do about
it.
Well,
what we can do about it is that to build infrastructure differently.
Okay.
And that's what we did in Ikodu.
In order to drain.
In order to ensure effective and efficient drainage. And we have our Loma going everywhere, turning waste to wealth. So people need just to abide with the rules and regulations. And we have created another ministry, which is urban planning, that are going to help the good people of Lagos.
You didn't just create urban planning. It's been there from time immemorial.
It has been there. It was in agency level. Okay. No. It was in agency level. Now they now have a PAMSEC.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they now have a PAMSEC, a higher level, looking at it in different horizons.
Okay, so there's supposed to be as a result of this upgrading of the agency.
Yes, they need to benefit from it. We now have PAMSEC for physical planning. We now have PAMSEC for urban development.
Wow, so it does look like people are, well, I won't say okay, because anybody whose house has been flooded will know that he has a problem on his hands. It's going to be expensive, but still, you do your best. Lasema does its best to mitigate the level of damage.
But if you look at the mortalities or morbidities that are associated with flood has greatly reduced. It has greatly reduced. Even the second, when you have flood disaster, there's always a secondary effect. The secondary effect too has been well taken care of. In Lagos State today, we now have PS managing primary health care in all the 5 divisions. So our primary health care has been upgraded in such a way that they are not only effective, that they are efficient.
So all of these kind of situations, you've said that what we're looking at on our screen now, in the course of time, it will all drain away. But if only residents, citizens would be cooperative with regulations of government, it might not be as bad as this. And it always starts with, look, somebody might feel that it doesn't really matter, I'm just one. No, every last person matters. Everyone. You have to keep your drainage, clear.
And if you are having problem, if somebody sees something, say something is very important. If you see somebody building obstructing the canal, the free flow of canal, you must raise alarm.
Are these places well known as danger spots that this building you're doing is obstructing because it might be in the dry season?
Well, when the rains commence, you will see it.
So at that stage, the man has bought the land, he has started the building, rains have commenced, he's seeing that, this place is going to be prone to flood.
Definitely.
He's supposed to discontinue
Discontinue with it and remove his structure. Because it's going to affect a lot. It's going to what we call rebound phenomenon. It's going to affect a lot of people.
Wow.
So you must do the needful to ensure that your community is safe. We build resilience from the community to the state level.
So, even as sympathetic as you can be, we have to tell ourselves the truths.
Nothing but the truth.
Nothing but the truth.
Because disaster management is everyone's business. And life itself have no spare parts.
Indeed, I like that. I'm going to leave it there. Dr. Femi Okeosonyitolu, Permanent Secretary of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency. Thank you for coming along and updating us on, the efforts of Lagos State government to keep everybody safe.
Well, it's part of advocacy we've commenced. It's part of the sensitization we commence. To good people of Lagos State, when there's any form of emergency, always remain cool, calm, and collected. Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu have provided machinery to ensure safety of life and properties in Lagos State.
Femi Okeosonyitolu, thank you very much. Okay, we're going to have to leave it there, but do please join us for our next program, which is on Monday. We don't usually do weekends. Thank you very much. See you then.
to the world. TVC Communications has been nominated for its very first international award, the prestigious AIB. It's a recognition of our voice,